What's up, you guys? It's Simon. Welcome back to my channel. So before we get into before we get into today's video, I do want to mention that I'm so sorry if you hear me like yawn or sniffle a lot in this video. I am not feeling very well. I'm very sleepy. I got woken up really early and I've just been kind of sniffly today, so if that's something that bothers you, feel free to mute this voiceover. It's just gonna be kind of a chill video today. Essentially what I'm doing is we are doing something that I've been seeing on Instagram and Twitter, I don't go on Twitter, TikTok a lot recently, which is the random color palette challenge. And essentially what you do is you set your iPad or whatever it is that you are working on to create your art to grayscale, and then you're going to a color palette generator like Coolers or like something on Google Images and just finding a random color palette and selecting it and using that as your color palette. And I think it's really interesting. I've obviously worked in grayscale before on this channel I believe it was just like a random grayscale challenge. I didn't have a random color palette. I was, trying to figure out if I could use my sort of knowledge of color theory and understanding of where those colors sit on the scale to see if I could create an image that, I would normally paint, but without grayscale. But with this, it's like literally you have no idea what colors you're going to be getting. And that was really interesting for me for a lot of different reasons. One was that it was really nice to work in grayscale, and I did actually get the chance to do something kind of painterly because I have sort of adjusted my what is the word for that? I've adjusted my technique, I guess, my way of going about things so that my painting takes a lot less time. I'm so sorry that I just said like 15 times, but essentially I made it so that my painting technique was a lot quicker, so I'm actually going to be able to do a lot more paintings on this channel. And while we're at it, let's talk a little bit about this illustration. If you can't tell already, this video, or this voiceover is not scripted, so I am gonna stumble a little bit, but I just wanted to keep things really chill today. I hope y'all don't mind. Anyway, a little bit about this illustration. So, I have been going through a major bout of art block lately. I've also been just generally really struggling with my art style, I think. I've been getting inspired by like the most like eclectic group of illustrators and painters and things like that. My taste for illustrations is all over the place. Like, I've been really loving Cheyenne Barton and Apple Cheeks and people who do really like I don't want to say vectory, but like really like illustrative, like almost like children's book-esque type of things, like very fantasy, or like just, very simple but really well done, really nice aesthetic sort of drawings. But I also, of course, am still in love with like that really painterly, like portrait look. I've been watching a lot of Alicia Nye. I've been back watching Sarah Tepes because she's been posting a lot more recently, so I've been watching her stuff. I've also been watching, not watching, but, still consuming Lowish content when she posts on Instagram. So, yeah, it's just the two styles of the things that I like right now have been very much different. And so it's kind of hard to be like, well, what style do I want? And my style doesn't really look like either of the things that I'm really into right now. So I've just been kind of struggling, and struggling with your art style means you're struggling to produce content, struggling to come up with ideas. So I just decided I was gonna download a bunch of like doll maker apps, like, Lily Story, one that I've been using recently. I don't remember the developer, but it's called Mimi Star, and then there's also one called Bat Doll. I got it off the Play Store. I believe the developer is like, it's like something. Here, let me find it for you guys so that I'm not like bumbling around trying to figure out what they are. I believe it is called, oh, it's like Mado, like M-A-D-O Games. And I have just been creating characters on that, and it's been really kind of inspiring me to, you know, draw things that I wouldn't normally draw, and that is what one of these characters are. I will probably, hopefully, put the character on screen if I remember to do so. You guys might have seen it at the beginning of this video. I am trying to remember to put up the sketching process, like the little Procreate video that it auto creates, up in the corner so that you guys can see a little bit about my sketching process and how I managed to get to where I did with this illustration. But that definitely has really helped me sort of overcome my inability to draw anything as of recent. If you've seen my Instagram, you know that I've been all over the place with like, oh, trying out different things with my markers, practicing this study, doing this study, and it's just been insane to try and come up with something that I'm really, really proud of. But that being said, I am really proud of this illustration. I thought she turned out really cute. So now, getting into what it was actually like to sort of color this illustration with without knowing what the colors were. So unlike the normal grayscale challenge, I couldn't really use my knowledge of color theory to determine where to put which colors in which places. I mostly had to use sort of like values as an indicator for where I wanted to place certain things. So obviously for me, I wanted to be able to have a lot of contrast, and there was really only one super dark color, which meant that I was going to go really light for the skin tone so that I would be able to build up those values and still be able to contrast that, versus if I had done like the one dark color, I would only have one midtone, one highlight, and that I wouldn't really be able to create too much contrast. So I went with the lightest color that I could for the skin, and then I went with obviously the next lightest color for the shadows. But then came the fun part, and that was doing the darker shadows, but also, you know, trying to place colors that were contrasting throughout the illustration. So value-wise, that was really easy, but I started mostly when I was getting to the second stage of the shadows for the skin. I started kind of panicking because I was like, I have no idea what this color is. This color could be literally anything. Like, this character could have like light blue skin, and then I'm using like dark pink red for the like shadows, or I'm using like some kind of yellow. Like, I was just very much nervous about what the color could possibly be and if it would turn out to be a nice illustration, because like I said, with colors, when they're grayscale, you can't really tell what color they are unless you go onto the wheel. I can only use my knowledge of values, and you guys will see at the end there were these two colors that I had that looked almost identical. It was really hard for me to tell them apart when they were next to each other. One was just subtly darker and the other was subtly lighter, but they were still pretty much the same tonal value. So it was really hard for me to distinguish like what color I had used previously, where I should put that color next, if I should use one color over the other, one color over the other to shade a certain area. And it was just a really big struggle for me trying to determine where to put which colors. I also would strongly recommend mixing colors together for this challenge, even if you don't have like a painterly style. If you do something that's like really cel shaded or something along those lines, I would recommend just taking two colors next to each other and using the smudge tool, because you're still only using the colors that you were given in the palette, but you are then creating new colors that you can put in other places. So for example, for her hair, I didn't want to go straight in with the darkest color, because then what the heck am I going to shadow that color with? You know what I mean? I'm not going to have any options for that. So what I did was I took the darkest color and I mixed it with one of the midtones that I had and sort of created a little bit of a darker color so that I could then use that for the hair. I also did that with the shirt. I took like, I think the other midtone color, and I mixed it with the shirt so that it would create, you know, another sort of mid-tone color, but that it was still a little bit darker, so that when I shaded it with that extremely dark color, it wasn't like a huge contrast, but it was still contrasting enough that it looked really nice. So, yeah, that being said, I do really like how the shading turned out. I think that the painting looks really, really nice. Especially around like the sweater, I wasn't expecting the technique that I used to actually work that well. I don't really do, it's kind of hard to describe. It was like sort of like a harsh edge, and then I blended it out softer. If that makes sense, like, I don't really know. I like put the shadow in and then I erased part of it and then I blended it out. And I thought it like literally turned out super cool. I was like actually shook. I was like, what? I did that? That looks so nice. So yeah, I do really enjoy how this turned out. And I guess now it's time to do the reveal. Okay, y'all, here is the finished result. I'm sorry if you if you hear any background noise, but I did want to show the reveal with you guys on camera. So we're gonna go into settings, and where is it? I totally just forgot. I think it's accessibility, display and text size, color filters, yes. So you're gonna put it back in color, and oh my god! Oh wow! Okay, wait, this is so cute! Oh my god! I love the shirt. Like, I'm actually obsessed with those colors together. The hair is interesting. I really like how that red line art honestly is popping against all of the colors. I got really lucky. I was not expecting to actually get a skin tone for this illustration either. I was really expecting like green skin or something, to be honest. But the fact that we actually did end up with like a nice like peach and even like a pink. I'm so mad I didn't. You know, I went against my better judgment because I did, obviously you guys can see I used that yellowish color for the hair, and then there was this blue, but there was also this pink for the midtone, and I was going to use this pink with the hair, but instead I decided, I was like, you know what, let me just use the color that's kind of similar in value to the pink. Obviously I didn't know it was pink. It was those two like mid-level grays, and I ended up using the other one, even though I wanted to use the other, which, to describe that, because that makes no sense, I was going to use the color that would have been pink, and instead I went with this like lilac blue color. And while I don't hate it, I think considering the fact that we ended up with this really nice blonde hair, it would have been better to have been able to use that pink for this color. But regardless, I am still very happy with this illustration. I think it's really cute. I was going to recolor it, but honestly, I think the only thing I'm going to touch on this illustration is the hair when I clean it up for Instagram. But I'm like I got so lucky, and look at this shirt! This is so cute. I'm like low-key obsessed with it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I certainly did. It was another one that was very chill because, if you can't tell, we're in bed today because I'm kind of feeling sick. So I just wanted something nice and relaxing that I could color and then do a really easy voiceover. And yeah, I'm just really proud of the end result. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe. And of course, if you like my art and want to support me in other ways, you can check out my social media. That'll be linked in the description. Or you can go and check out my Patreon. It's almost the end of January. So if you join by January 31st to the matcha mail tier, you're going to get a physical reward in the mail. It'll be 2 stickers and a print, and you'll also get all of the rewards that come with previous tiers. However, if you don't want a physical reward but you still want to be a part of the Patreon, there's still the $1 tier that has a ton of cool stuff now. We've got digital downloads. You can vote on the themes for like the wallpapers and stuff that you guys get, and all of this other stuff. So yeah, if that's something you'd be interested in checking out, please do. I love you guys so much, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye! Psych, that wasn't the end of the video. I totally forgot to reveal the actual color palette, so ignoring this because this is just me. Oh, cancel. This was just me mixing the color right here that you see with white for the background. So this was the palette. You can see there's like this light peach, kind of the same peach, but a little bit closer to pink, which is super lucky that it picked like a perfect shadow color. And then there's this mustard color, which is actually one of my favorite shades of yellow in the entire world. This pink, which is kind of like salmon, but also not quite salmon, I would say. And then there's this navy blue. It's kind of hard to tell on camera because it's pretty dark, but yeah, those were the colors we ended up with. I really like them. I think I, again, got really, really lucky with this palette. Honestly, it's super adorable. It's so pretty. I am just so mad that I decided to mix this blue color instead of the pink. But honestly, again, I am really happy with this, and I hope you guys like how it turned out. So now I will actually see you guys in the next one. Bye.